This abandoned market on the outskirts of Mosul is hardly a home. But for these people, it's the only place to go. Branded as ISIS families, they feel shunned by their own communities, marginalized by their own state.
All the people sitting here, they no longer own anything. They're displaced families without a home. The people you see over there, their house was blown up. And all these children have no other playground than this place.
At the heart of these problems, the lack of essential civil documents. Dawood's brother joined the IS group and died during the battle for Mosul. Dawood claims that authorities have since refused to renew the family's ID cards.
Of course that's the reason. If you have an ISIS member in your family, they won't give you any help. The rest of the family isn't guilty of anything, but they blame us anyway.
For most citizens, Iraq's bureaucracy is infamously cumbersome, costly, and often corrupt. But these families, who lack money or connections, and who are ostracized for their relatives' links to the IS group, are particularly vulnerable to its pitfalls.
If you have money, you can get anything, even if you have an ISIS member in your family.
No ID means no services, no rights, and no future. Dawood says the entire family has been barred from receiving food rations as part of the government's social security program. He recently got married, but without an ID card, he can't get a marriage certificate. Dawood's neighbors face similar problems. BAYDIYA says her husband was arrested 3 months ago on unknown charges. The mother of 6 says authorities have since refused to renew her children's ID cards.
All their IDs have expired, but they're refusing to renew them. The children can't be admitted to school or anything else.
Legally, the physical presence of the father is required to renew children's ID cards. If that's not possible, the mother must at least present a marriage certificate, which BAYDIYA did. But she was still turned away.
They asked me where their father was, and when I told them he was in prison, they told me they won't issue any ID and to go away.
The father's arrest means that BAYDIYA's 4 school-aged children are denied access to education. Sahar is 10 years old, but she hasn't had a single year of schooling, first because the family lived under the IS group, and now because authorities won't let her.
She said, "You won't let me go to school this year either?" And I told her there was nothing I could do. They have no future if they can't even read their own names. What will become of them?
Over 80,000 families across Iraq lack at least one civil document, according to the Norwegian Refugee Council. The NGO has set up legal clinics to help people like Dawood overcome the bureaucratic and financial hurdles associated with renewing documents.
Go ahead.
My ID expired in 2012. I want to renew it, but I have to travel to Adar district.
That's where the office is.
Yes, it's far away, and I don't have the means to travel there.
Okay, but we don't have any staff going there, and we have no coordination with the local authorities.
Although legal assistance isn't available for Dawood's district, the lawyer promises to see if the organization can at least cover his costs. But there's another, far greater obstacle. Dawood fears going back.
It's not that I don't want to go, I can't go.
Is it just the money or something else?
Well, money is a problem, but it's also that people over there are hostile.
But you have to go.
Last time at the checkpoint, they asked me why my ID card wasn't renewed. I told them I couldn't. They said next time I come back without proper ID, they'll arrest me.
Yes, but I can't go there and get access to your file. They'll ask me why you didn't come in person.
Dawood's disappointment is palpable. For now, he has reached a dead end. The difficulty in renewing documents is one reason why many relatives of IS members don't want to leave the IDP camps. At a camp south of Mosul, we meet another part of Dawood's family, his parents and the wife of Dawood's deceased brother who joined the jihadists. They too blame authorities for withholding services outside the camps.
They wouldn't give us food supplies, but here we receive food aid. Outside this camp, there's nothing for us. They say we've been banished. If we have to leave this place, life will be impossible.
The family's house was destroyed, possibly in an act of revenge. They too could be targets if they returned.
Of course I'm scared. How could I not be?
In the camp, the family gets some protection and services provided through international organizations, but the government has recently begun to send families home, and plans to close down the IDP camps.
Recently, the governor came. He said people living in camps in Nineveh province will soon have to leave. So yes, we're afraid. Where would we go?
Without ID cards, these families say they cannot survive outside the camps. Their treatment, organizations say, amounts to collective punishment and may lay fertile ground for future radicalization.